Let me welcome everyone again to this outstanding new United States Customs and Border Protection facility at Fort Lauderdale Executive Airport. And thanks again to U.S. Customs and Border Protection, Department of Homeland Security, FXE, the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce, Banyan Air Service, Jet Runway Cafe, Sano Aviation, and Florida Jet for their participation and support tonight. Because of their efforts from these agencies, organizations, and businesses, no local tax dollars were being expended for tonight's event either. So when you talk about a wise use of our funds, how about a round of applause for those? And I want to thank Randy Burnson for providing the wonderful jazz music we had outside. Is Randy inside now? How about a thank you to Randy. And Nikki Kidd for that outstanding rendition of the national anthem. Nikki, thank you. And to David Gross, we appreciate your spiritual guidance and support as well as your pastoral leadership throughout our community. David, thank you, and thank you to First Baptist. Tonight we had a little help from the young our Fort Lauderdale Police Honor Guard to proudly present our colors and remind us about the importance of patriotism and the selfless contributions of our men and women who serve. How about a round of applause for the Color Guard? And it is indeed appropriate to recognize our first responders, particularly at this time of year. With that in mind, let me remind everyone to join us this Friday, September 11th at 9:30 a.m. at the Fort Lauderdale Fire and Safety Museum for 911 Remembrance Ceremony to honor all those who lost their lives in the terrorist attacks, to commemorate the sacrifices made by our first responders, and remember how this tragedy has changed our lives forever. And specifically tonight, I want to thank our police, fire, rescue, and public safety personnel for continuing to serve, protect, and safeguard our neighbors and our community. Thank you, gentlemen. And just a couple, first of all, let me recognize two special guests who joined us tonight. I look out, I see one of them, a guy that served this city for so well, for so long, certainly involved in the expansion of this airport as well as the expansion of our marine industry, and someone that if I'm sure if he could get his boat through customs, he'd be coming through here all the time, and that's our former mayor, Jim Noggle. Jim, thank you. And then inside, I don't see where he's sitting now, but inside I also saw our other former mayor, Robert Dressler, who did such a fabulous job. Robert, thank you. And Bruce made a comment outside, but I don't think anything could be more appropriate. You know, sometimes in life, you're just blessed to serve with certain people at certain times. And I will tell you, this commission is absolutely the most wonderful group of people to work with. Bruce, you nailed it when we said it's enjoyable to come to work. It's fun to discuss and debate issues, and if you watch our commission meetings, you realize we're not all on the same page in terms of the discussion and the debate, but we're all on the same page in terms of moving the city of Fort Lauderdale forward. And I want to start by recognizing the Vice Mayor, Robert McKenzie. Robert, thank you for your leadership. And to his left, of course, the District Commissioner tonight, Bruce Roberts. Bruce, thank you. And over to my far right, a guy that really needs no introduction. The city of Fort Lauderdale is his neighborhood. That's Romney Rogers. And a guy doing this for the second time around, and I'll tell you what, it's nice to have him come back and serve with us. As you see with the way we get along and work together, we all bring different input, we all bring a different background, but when it comes time to come together, I love working with guys like Dean Trantalis. Thank you, Dean. And of course, folks, city staff. You know, we talk about it all the time, but I think our city staff's the finest in the country, and whether that starts at the top. Starts at the top with leadership under the helm of Lee Feldman, a guy that I think is outstanding. Lee, thank you. You know, one thing Lee did is Lee emphasized that we're going to be Assistant City Manager. I see Sue Toriente back in the back, Assistant City Manager. It's fantastic leadership top to bottom. And then, of course, our charter officers. We have been Very fortunate to have a city auditor that has been with us quite some time, has done a remarkable job helping us with the budget as we steer through some tough times, and that's John Herbst. John, thank you. John, thank you. And our relatively new city attorney. She was new last year. She's now starting to really enjoy the job, enjoy working in City Hall, working with a top-notch legal department, and she's serving at the helm of that department, doing an outstanding job. Cynthia Everett. Cynthia, thank you. And a guy who's acting as acting city clerk right now, which is a title I don't expect him to hold for very long because he's really doing a remarkable job as our acting city clerk. And I think at some point in the near future we'll be talking to him about becoming our full-time permanent city clerk. And that's Jeff Monterelli. Where's Jeff? And Jeff brought his family with him here tonight, so that's good. And you know, folks, we are fortunate to have some of the hardest working, most talented, involved citizens anywhere. I want to especially thank all the members of our advisory boards, our advisory committees. This is a dedicated group of volunteers who spend thousands of hours each year advising us on topics ranging from budgets and economic development to housing and sustainability. Their expertise, their recommendations have really helped guide our most important decisions. If I could ask the members of our advisory board, advisory committees, to please rise and we could say thank you inside. That'd be great. And as you all know, the backbone of Fort Lauderdale is our civic and homeowner associations, our neighborhood associations, and they're represented tonight by some of their officers and presidents. Would they please rise? We owe you a tremendous debt of gratitude. And the last group I'd like to recognize before I get into remarks on the future, the state of the city, is any veterans here in the room. Because I'll tell you what, folks, we have a group of veterans that have allowed us to gather tonight, that have allowed us to come together and celebrate as we do in the city and allow us to have this great quality of life. And if you're a veteran, please rise so we can say thank you. Let me I just commented outside briefly about the aviation, so I won't rehash any of those remarks, but I do just want to say, when you look at what's happening out here over the last 15 years, grants from the FAA have totaled over $26 million. The state, you heard tonight, is giving us almost $5 million. And you realize these dollars could have gone anywhere. These dollars could go anywhere in this country, and yet they have come here to South Florida through the efforts of our members of Congress, our members of Senate, and really the efforts of the people here in this community. And these investments have really helped us. We put up $2.6 million of our enterprise fund and drawn down $34 million from other sources. And I think we owe a tremendous debt of gratitude to our partners at the state and federal level. So thank you. And as we gather here tonight at the #1 general aviation airport in Florida, we're going to talk about the economy a little bit. There's no doubt that this new customs facility is an investment that will pay tremendous dividends moving forward, just as the investments we are making today are helping us fulfill our citywide vision for a safe, healthy, active, inclusive, and sustainable community. Our dividends are being seen every day in every corner of our community as we try to transform Fort Lauderdale into the city Lee likes to call the city you never want to leave. Driving our community-wide vision is the city's fiscal year 2016 budget. It is the bridge which connects us to our citizens. This budget is our strategic game plan that allocates the resources in accordance with the goals and objectives identified in our vision and the priorities of our neighbors. As we put together this year's budget, we were blessed to receive another strong sign of our economic resurgence. Broward County Property Appraiser informed us that our property values rose 9.68% over the last year, marking our 4th consecutive year of growth. In addition to the gains in property valuation, Fort Lauderdale saw more than $329 million in new construction added to our tax rolls. And I'm proud to report that last night, for the 2nd consecutive year, this City Commission passed the budget by unanimous 5-0 vote. This marks the first time since 1999 and 2000 that our budget has passed unanimously in back-to-back years. So thank you. And as I stated, this budget calls for no increase in the current operating millage rate, no increase in the fire assessment fee. The millage rate for fiscal year 2016 will remain at its current level of 4.1193, which is the 9th consecutive year that we've been able to hold the line on property taxes. Our millage rate and our water and sewer rates remain among the lowest in Broward County, and right now our millage rate's the second lowest in the 25 largest cities in the state. However, our budget does provide us with the resources to deliver quality, cost-effective services to our neighbors while investing in social capital to build community, expand civic engagement, and enhance our quality of life. We're going to continue to invest and to maintain and strengthen our infrastructure, enhance citywide public safety, bolster direct service delivery, enrich our parks and recreation programming, and replace and upgrade critical fire rescue equipment and apparatus. But gentlemen, that Black Hawk is off limits to the fire department and police department. $22 million price tag. As a result of our conservative fiscal management, lean process improvements, and operational efficiencies, we're projecting a $57 million reserve fund balance, which is above our adopted policy and exceeds our national standard for municipal governments. Our strong fund balance, along with our low debt load, enhances our bond ratings, saving residents and businesses millions of dollars in interest costs and strengthening our obligation bond rating to AA+. And to quote S&P, their exact quote was, "This rating reflects our opinion that Fort Lauderdale's strong budgetary performance and very strong budgetary flexibility and liquidity made a difference." So nice to get that kind of rating from S&P. But this budget is a collective investment in our future. While the vision embodies our shared goals and our ideas and our aspirations, the budget's the vehicle that gets us there. Tonight we're going to highlight a couple of those projects and initiatives taking place to enhance our quality of life and benefit the generations of tomorrow. We're going to invest in connectivity, and together we are meeting that challenge. We're making tremendous progress on projects that will redefine Fort Lauderdale's future, like the Wave streetcar, that'll enhance mobility and stimulate transit-oriented development throughout downtown. The $2.5 billion all-aboard Florida high-speed passenger rail project, which is coming out of the ground just west of City Hall, and more than $70 million in upgrades to Fort Lauderdale Beach. We've taken numerous steps to activate our Riverwalk, including launching the tremendously popular water trolley. How many of you all been on that? The new food kiosks, the recreational opportunities, and the ordinances that are now going to allow street performers, artists, and outdoor dining along our new river. And to top it off, earlier this summer we received word that the Levitt Pavilion has been selected to be located in Fort Lauderdale. Hopefully this new venue will be located at Esplanade Park, be funded completely through grants and private donations, and to bring a new level of entertainment activity and cultural offerings to our Riverwalk. In addition to the projects taking place downtown, we've got the roaring economic engines of Port Everglades, Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport. Let me give you two numbers for a second, folks. One, Port Everglades' economic impact is about $28 billion a year. So whenever you have to complain about any of that maritime traffic or about our marine industry, just think about the $28 billion that port brings to us, and you realize I'm more than happy to share this community with Port Everglades. And the airport economic impact locally is now topping about $13 billion. And the new $73 million FEC intermodal facility at Port Everglades helped boost rail freight by 26%. And if you look around South Florida, we've got $167 million in road improvements underway in projects that are primarily being done through FDOT, everything from our high-profile reconstruction and beautification of A1A to some other bridges around town. And if you haven't seen that area of the beach lately, I encourage you to take a look. Finally, the raised roadway, the new wave wall, and the brick walkways are a beautiful work in progress. I want to thank our partners at FDOT and the Broward Metropolitan Planning Organization, especially our commissioners who serve on the Broward Metropolitan Planning Organization, for their leadership and commitment toward making those major infrastructure improvements. And as we endeavor to become a truly pedestrian-friendly, multimodal community, our Transportation and Mobility Department under Diana Alarcon leads the way with progressive initiatives. We've got the Connect the Blocks painted intersection. We've got artwork downtown to help calm traffic, enhance pedestrian and bicycle safety. We've got the downtown walkability plan. We've got the Uptown Link shuttle, which I encourage you all uptown here, get out and use that shuttle. We need to get those numbers up. Please help us get those shuttle numbers up to provide alternative transportation to the Cypress Creek corridor. We've got bike lanes, greenways, sharrows, and complete street projects. And we're also going to launch a new project this year called Vision Zero, which is a nationwide safety effort to significantly reduce traffic-related injuries and pedestrian fatalities. Our vision plan also aims for a prosperous city with a vibrant and diverse economy that transcends just our sunny climate. Today there are over, listen to this number, 16,100 open building permits pending in Fort Lauderdale, valued at over $1.3 billion, up 64% over last year. Because of that, we've added 11 new positions in the building division. We've created an express lane to provide faster service for smaller projects. And when you look at last year, you see we had over 26,000 building permits issued over the course of the whole year and 97,000 inspections. Currently, there are 5,463 residential units and hotel rooms under construction, approved or in the review process in our downtown area, and additional 2,400 units in various stages of development on Fort Lauderdale Beach. This impressive level of private investment sends a clear signal of strength and confidence about our future. While infrastructure investment is on the rise, unemployment remains low. Our current unemployment rate of 5.2% continues to trend as one of the lowest in the state, and lower than our neighbor to the south, Miami, and lower than the state of Florida, as reminded the governor yesterday here in Fort Lauderdale. Got to give a shout out to the Greater Fort Lauderdale Chamber of Commerce for their leadership, the Greater Fort Lauderdale Alliance, and the Greater Fort Lauderdale Convention and Visitors Bureau, all working together, not worrying about who gets the credit, just getting the job done. Thank you. And then here in Uptown, we've had tremendous success, great leadership, as we heard earlier from Mr. Goldberg. But if you look at what's happening with the economy up here, this is one of our city's strongest economic regions and the fast-growing area for business, leisure, and entertainment. In addition to the airport, we've got Citrix, Microsoft Latin America, City Latin America, Zimmerman Advertising, Nipro, CBS Interactive, Sanford Brown, Diversified Realty, Kaplan, Keith and Snars, Workforce One, Midgard, Calvary Chapel, Miller Lake, Greenspoon Martyr, and you could go on and on. This area is booming. It's fabulous for what we want to accomplish in this part of the city. Working cooperatively with the city, our airport, and Envision Uptown, the business owners have embraced long-term plans to transform this area. And two long-term plans we're excited about is one is Slitterbond. This is going to open up right here across the street. We just cleared a major hurdle with the FAA, and we expect them to be moving forward with a project that their president described, and hopefully you all have kids or grandkids that'll appreciate this. This project will be the biggest and baddest park we've ever built. With groundbreaking technology not seen in any of our other parks. We have nominated John Herbst to ride the first. We're also going to add 4 soccer fields for families' use up here in the community. We're going to renovate Lockhart Stadium to keep the championship back here to Fort Lauderdale. And I want to single out one business in this area, and that's Banyan Air Service. We thank them outside, but I'll tell you something. This company provides a wide range of aviation maintenance, repair, and aircraft sales and service, and was just voted the #1 fixed-based operator in the Southeast United States in the Pilot's Choice Awards. Don. Under the leadership of Don Campione, they now rank 5th among all FBOs in the United States. And Don will be the first to tell you he has assembled a top-notch team. So Don, thank you to you, your family, and your whole team here at Banyan. Just briefly, let me talk about Fort Lauderdale Beach. We're a long way away from it, but we're bustling down there too. You're looking at what's happening in Birch Street neighborhood. There is a renovation of 35 structures going on with all privately funded, creating a boutique resorts catering to tourists from all over the world. To the east of North Beach Village, you're going to see the new 290-room Conrad Fort Lauderdale Resort, and I can't imagine a better year to have that renamed from its old name, so I'll leave it at that. Some of you don't remember that was also the Trump Fort Lauderdale. So It's now the Conrad Fort Lauderdale Resort, but it's going to be a $34 million upgrade to a fabulous facility, and I suspect we won't have any protests out there, so it'll work fine. Just up the street, we got the former Howard Johnson's becoming the Paramount Fort Lauderdale Beach. Had 95 oceanfront residences. Further south, Bahia Mar is going to be putting together two 39-story condominium towers and a $40 million hotel renovation, along with a fabulous intercoastal waterway promenade, waterfront restaurants, a retail-oriented fishing village, and most importantly, the permanent home for the Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show. Let me just touch on a couple other things. We just launched this past summer climate for addressing and mitigating the impacts of climate change. And again, I want to recognize and thank Assistant City Manager Susie Toriente, who unfortunately is leaving us next week. She is becoming the Chief Resiliency Officer and Assistant City Manager in the city of Miami Beach, but under her visionary leadership, Fort Lauderdale has adopted a new and sustainable way of doing business that has improved our city operations and strengthened our community and enhanced our quality of life. Susie, thank you. A couple other things just to touch on in closing as we wrap up. I want to just talk about we talk about the internal operations we've done, but if you see what's happening with the external programs and initiatives, including our commitment to waste diversion, we got a lot of people in this room that work very hard on waste diversion recycling, but this year a record 984 neighbors have seized the opportunity to divert 84,000 pounds of hazardous waste and electronics from improper and illegal disposal to legal and proper disposal. We also launched a new program that provides curbside pickup of used vehicle tires. Reuse and recycling of used tires provides environmental and economic benefits. From football fields and playground safety mats to rubberized asphalt and tire-derived fuel, old tires are being repurposed for good causes. We've also adopted a Florida-friendly landscape ordinance to help reach our tree canopy goal. We've given away almost 3,000 trees annually to our neighbors. And the next tree giveaway, for those that want to know, will be this Saturday, September 12th at Oswald Park, starting at 8 a.m. Remind your neighborhood and your neighbors about that. Want to just trying to move through this a little quicker than I originally put it together due to time constraints. I will touch on one thing, that while we're thankful that Tropical Storm Erica did not visit us a few weeks ago, was and remains ready should the need arise to activate our emergency operations plan. Throughout the year, our city staff receives emergency operation training and reviews procedures and protocols. And this year, we received special training on FEMA emergency response requirements to increase awareness of federal disaster guidelines and regulations while remaining vigilant in every aspect of emergency preparedness. We're going to continue to make sure that we have a safe, healthy, friendly, and close-knit community. And I want to single out two departments here with our police chief, Frank Adderley. Where's Frank? Saw him. Number of crimes documented in our city since the police department started tracking crime statistics in 1974. Vice Mayor McKenzie and City Manager Lee Feldman and I were honored to be with our police department at the Florida League of Cities convention when they were presented with the Florida League of Cities 2015 Citizenship Award, commending them for their community police forum that it's an initiative that raises awareness about the department and provides opportunities for the police to interact, engage, and develop productive partnerships with our neighbors, organizations, and stakeholders. In addition, they're working with the IBM to utilize predictive analysis software to stay one step ahead of criminals, and we're excited about the direction our crime rate's going. Now let me talk about another department, and this department's had one heck of a month. As one of the busiest fire rescue departments in the state, Fort Lauderdale Fire Rescue responded to over 51,000 calls last year, up substantially from the 44,000 calls responded to a year earlier. The department also provided hands-only CPR training to over 7,600 of our neighbors. Last month, though, this is something to be awful proud about. Last month, our fire rescue department became one of only 32 departments out of 47,000 departments nationwide to achieve both a Class 1 rating from the Insurance Service Organization and national accreditation from the Commission on Fire Accreditation International. This speaks to the quality of our fire and emergency services, and it reflects outstanding fire protection efforts in the areas of equipment, staffing, communications, water distribution, community risk reductions, and fire alarm facilities. And most importantly for you all, results in savings. That ISO rating being where it is results in savings to homeowners, to business owners, to commercial properties here in the city. In addition, Fire Marshal Jeff Lucas, Jeff's back here. He earned certification from the Center for Public Safety Excellence, becoming only one of 93 fire marshals worldwide to attain this professional accreditation. Jeff, thank you. And I want to thank you all here tonight as we close. I want to thank you all for the community building process, for promoting the volunteerism and enhancing neighborhood communications. Over 1,400 volunteers worked on 53 community service projects last year. We had over 100 volunteers painting, cleaning, and landscaping. We had over dozens of volunteers build 14 little free libraries for our local parks and community centers. Where's George Ruska? George, thank you for your... And again, our Council of Fort Lauderdale Civic Associations hosted the Neighbor Support Night with the city, strengthening community ties, elevating public spirit, and encouraging citizen engagement. These special events are an integral part of what we're trying to do to enhance quality of life and to generate exposure. We hosted 40 major citywide events with more than 600,000 in attendance, including our St. Patrick's Day, our St. Patrick's Parade and Festival, our Great American Beach Party, our 4th of July Spectacular, our New Year's Eve Downtown Countdown. We had another 50 special events at Riverwalk, 25 special events on the beach, and downtown's Fat Village in Dean's District. Fat Village is continuing to offer, now we've got Art Walk, Night Owl Market, Food in Motion, more and more things coming constantly. This has been a banner year for tourism, Ina. Last year, the Greater Fort Lauderdale welcomed a record 14.3 million visitors who spent $11.4 billion. And we're on pace to eclipse that record with 68 straight months of tourism growth. We had our best summer on record, and as we look at the remainder of the year with the 56th annual Fort Lauderdale International Boat Show, the 2015 Seminole Hard Rock Winterfest Boat Parade, we are going to be in great shape. And so I want to once again just close with the thoughts that we are truly becoming a more connected city as the number of subscribers to our social media tools has increased by 700% on Twitter, and I credit Tim Heiser with that for the fire department, 396% for YouTube. Lee's still trying to figure out what happened to MySpace, but we'll explain that to him later. He's coming back. He's telling me he's got no followers on MySpace. I can't figure that out. But Fort Lauderdale's leadership position continues to generate national media attention for our city. I encourage you to look at our award-winning website where you will find close to 50 top rankings for our outstanding initiatives, including National Civic League All-American City, Top 10 Best Downtowns, Top 10 Most Exciting Places in Florida, Top 10 American Dream Cities, Top 10 Greenest Mid-Sized Cities, and on and on. These accolades serve as an important reminder that our greatest achievements have and will be accomplished together. So in closing, we are on track and the state of our city is strong. As night falls on this outstanding new facility and we look forward to new and exciting opportunities that lie ahead, we remain optimistic about our future, we remain committed to leaving no neighborhood behind, and we remain passionate about working cooperatively with all of you here tonight and with all of you here in the community to make Fort Lauderdale the best place to live, work, play, visit, and raise a family. May God bless you. May God bless the great city of Fort Lauderdale. With that, we are concluded. Thank you for coming out. Enjoy, stay out for a couple drinks. Enjoy the hospitality. Stop back and say hey to Mr. Lucas. Appreciate you all being here.